you're locked into Spill Zone, where gossip gets wild and nothing stays hidden for long. Cardi B just linked up with Kelly Rowland for a brand new Spotify sit-down, and the tea she spilled is already shaking timelines like an earthquake. Cardi kicked things off by peeling back the curtain on how she handles this new wave of female rappers stepping into the spotlight.
See like a new little bitch coming up with some shit, and I feel like they kind of cool, and I feel like people be dragging them. I be sliding in their DMs like, it's like, hey, you know this temporary, this is a good and bad thing, but sometimes you gotta know who to do it with, because I have done that to bitches that done went and fuck my man and all that shit. So it's like, you gotta know who you being nice to, because it's like these bitches right here, you out there feeling sympathy for them and wishing them the best, and these bitches wanna beat you and fuck your nigga, that you ain't even realize them bitches. You are here like a damn, she look like a nice girl. I feel bad for her. Like, it's like, let me think that, bitch, you start being shady to me. And it's like, oh, bitch,
She revealed that when she sees one of them catching heat online, she doesn't just watch from the sidelines. She'll slide straight into their DMs with words of encouragement, reminding them that somebody powerful is in their corner. That's not just rap talk, that's mentorship in real time. Fans were caught off guard by this vulnerable side of Cardi, describing it as almost motherly, which is a huge contrast from her usual fire-spitting clapback persona. And honestly, seeing her play the big sister role in hip-hop, that's a twist nobody expected. But then came the bombshell that flipped the whole interview upside down. Cardi didn't just talk about being supportive, she exposed betrayal so raw it had everybody gasping. She revealed that some of the very same female rappers she was trying to mentor and protect went behind her back and slept with Offset.
Offset them, what is it? Sweetie, Krishan Rock, Ari, like, yo, this is, yo, Offset was piping out chicks that Cardi was supposed to do music.
That little confession dropped so casually, but it hit like a stick of dynamite, leaving fans clutching their phones in pure disbelief. Just picture it. You're pouring out love, giving advice, rooting for these women to win, and meanwhile they're creeping around with your husband? That's the kind of scandal that makes timelines explode. And the only question fans have now is, who are these women Cardi is calling out? People are already running wild with guesses, dropping names in comment sections like confetti. And here's where it gets even messier. The bigger question might not be who did Offset sleep with, but who hasn't he slept with? Folks online are roasting him, saying he's moving like he's on a world tour of infidelity, collecting bodies in the industry like trophies. The man was supposed to be a husband, but from the way people describe it, Offset had a whole second career in secret, sneaking, scheming, and leaving chaos in his trail. Cardi might have kept it cute by not dropping any names, but that didn't stop the internet from blowing the whole situation wide open.
this one time, and I'm gonna say everything because I don't know what the fuck. This album, just like a lot of people that don't like me underestimating this album, a lot of these artists are also underestimated this album too. I have gotten into calls. I have gotten out of my body because, you know, I'm very shy. I have hit people up. I have this and that. And people underestimating the impact, well, a lot of people have changed their mind these past couple of weeks. If people underestimated the impact and everything, I can't do nothing about it. One thing I don't do is I'm not going to beg nobody. So for y'all to be like complaining and like, these are a lot of these artists that have gotten in it on this album, I'm very thankful, I'm very grateful because you'll be very fucking surprised.
The second she let that line slip, social media turned into a crime scene investigation. Fans were digging through old photos, old collabs, and even Instagram likes trying to piece together the puzzle. Timelines are now flooded with wild guesses, and people are whispering, oh, it's gotta be her. Like they've cracked some secret code. And honestly, can you blame them? The way Cardi threw that shade was too pointed to just brush off. Even without naming names, it felt like she was aiming directly at somebody, and fans could smell the smoke. Comment sections are full of people arguing over who's guilty, and others saying, well, it could be any of them, which only makes things look even messier. That's the scary part about this whole industry. It's supposed to be about collabs, sisterhood, and coming up together, but the second drama hits, all that unity flies out the window. When a story like this breaks, you realize trust barely exists in the rap game. Your so-called friend could be your rival in disguise, and your biggest supporter might be sneaking behind your back with your man. In this game, loyalty feels like a myth, and betrayal is just another Tuesday. So honestly, can you even fault Cardi B for throwing her hands up and saying, I'm done helping these girls? Imagine bending over backwards to show love, sliding into their DMs with advice, giving pep talks, telling them to keep their heads high, only for some of them to snake you in the worst way by messing around with your husband? That's not just petty, that's the ultimate backstab. No wonder Cardi's ready to cut ties and move like she's standing on her own island now. And really, who could even blame her at this point? But let's keep it real. The burning question is still hanging heavy in the air. Who exactly was she talking about? The way Cardi slipped that confession out so casually, like it was nothing, has fans scrambling like detectives on a mission. Comment sections look like trial rooms, with people naming suspects, making charts, and debating like it's life or death. I've got my own guesses, but I'll be straight with you. They're only guesses. That's why I'm flipping it back to you. Who do you think Cardi was pointing at? Because right now, the internet is split down the middle and everybody swears they've got the answer. And since we're already talking Cardi, we can't ignore the other storm circling her right now. Her long-awaited album, the one fans have been begging on their knees for, is finally rumored to be dropping this Friday. The timing couldn't be crazier because all this Offset drama just set the stage for her to come out swinging with the rawest bars we've ever heard. Imagine if she actually puts names in the lyrics. It could blow the whole rap game apart. This ain't just any album either. People have been starving for it. Cardi's been teasing this sophomore project for what feels like a lifetime, while fans have been screaming, "Drop it already," ever since Invasion of Privacy dropped way back in 2018. That debut wasn't just big, it was culture shifting. Diamond records, Grammy wins, endless hits. Now, her second album, boldly titled Am I the Drama, is supposed to finally land this Friday, September 19th, and the hype is absolutely insane. Fans are already predicting she'll air out her enemies, clap back at her haters, and maybe even spill more tea on Offset's messy antics. But here's the twist. This album rollout has been messy from the very start, and fans know it. For months now, the streets have been buzzing with 1,000 different excuses for why Cardi's project kept getting pushed back. One week, whispers said she wasn't happy with the track list, scrapping and re-recording songs left and right. Another week, the talk was all about label politics slowing her down, like execs couldn't agree on the vision. Then came the shadiest rumor of them all, that Cardi herself was nervous about the pressure, scared of not being able to outdo the monster success of her debut. Every few weeks, a new story popped up, leaving fans frustrated, confused, and begging to know if the album was even real. And now, with this Offset scandal exploding across the internet, the timing feels straight up chaotic. People are already whispering that this album might be her chance to let loose and air out everything. The betrayals, the sneakiness, the shade, and maybe even drop some names. Just imagine Cardi loading up a beat and spitting bars about the very rappers she once tried to guide. That wouldn't just trend. It would crash the internet, set fire to the charts, and have the entire rap game trembling. Earlier this year, Cardi hopped on Instagram Live and completely unloaded on her fans, venting about the nightmare behind the scenes. She admitted she'd been sitting around forever waiting on features from artists she genuinely admired, practically begging them to hurry up and send their verses already. You could hear the frustration in her voice, like she was done being patient. That's when fans started side-eyeing certain big names, whispering, "Okay, who's dragging their feet and holding Cardi back?" But the real plot twist came just yesterday, when she slid onto Twitter Spaces and spilled a whole different flavor of tea. Cardi claimed that a lot of artists had been flat out underestimating her new album. According to her, some folks straight up acted like they didn't believe she had it in her to drop another blockbuster project after Invasion of Privacy. That's bold disrespect, considering her debut snatched Grammys and went diamond. Fans are now buzzing, saying certain rappers clearly doubted her, and Cardi's about to prove every single one of them wrong in the loudest way possible. That revelation rocked fans to the core, because the way Cardi worded it sounded like she was shading some serious heavyweights in the industry. The thought that big-name rappers and singers straight up brushed her off, like they didn't believe she could pull off another cultural reset, makes this upcoming album drop feel 10 times more personal. This ain't just about numbers anymore. It's about Cardi proving every doubter dead wrong and making them eat their words. Now here's the shady part. Insiders claim a lot of those artists didn't think Cardi's new project was going to shift the culture. Instead of locking in their features, they allegedly pulled a disappearing act, backing out quietly, like they didn't want to waste their energy on something they thought would flop. And now, with the rollout heating up and fans foaming at the mouth for release day, those same names are probably kicking themselves for sleeping on Cardi. Talk about fumbled opportunities. But let's be real, Cardi didn't come empty-handed. The confirmed lineup is still stacked and dripping with star power. We're talking Kay Cobain, Janet Jackson, Connie, Lizzo, Megan Thee Stallion, Selena Gomez, Summer Walker, and Tyler, a mix of legends, hitmakers, and cultural forces that could carry any project. Still, if you listen between the lines, you can feel that Cardi had to dig deep to pull this roster together after certain bigger names ghosted her. And fans can't stop speculating about who those missing faces were supposed to be. Cardi's new project, Am I the Drama, is locked and loaded with a jaw-dropping 23 tracks. Yes, 23 songs stacked back to back. And to really stir the pot, Offset himself is confirmed to be on the album too. That little detail alone has fans torn in half. Some are rolling their eyes saying, why would she still put him on after everything? While others argue it shows Cardi's in full control of her narrative, moving on her own terms and refusing to let the drama dictate her art. Either way, she's making it crystal clear. This is her vision, and she's not bending for the chatter. But the whispers don't stop there. The biggest unanswered question is still burning a hole through every comment section. Who were the artists she originally wanted? The ones that dipped the second they thought her album wouldn't be huge? That mystery has fans working overtime, dissecting every clue, and it's driving people absolutely wild. And let's not forget the juiciest mystery of them all. The women Cardi was hinting at when she confessed that some of the very rappers she supported ended up sleeping with Offset. The internet is already circling a few prime suspects, and the first name tossed into the fire is Saweetie. Remember back in 2021 when the blogs went up in flames with rumors that she and Offset had something going on? Both of them denied it. But the whispers never really disappeared. That rumor left a stain on her name that fans can't scrub away. So now people are side-eyeing, saying if Cardi really had Saweetie in mind, it makes sense she kept things vague. Because calling her out directly would have blown the entire industry sky high overnight. Then there's Cuban Doll, a name that just won't disappear from Offset's cheating history. For years, her name has been tied to his scandals, popping up every time rumors of infidelity resurface. At one point, she even clapped back online when people started dragging her into the mess. But her denial never really stopped the speculation. Fans swear her name floats like a shadow over Offset's every move. And when Cardi dropped that interview bomb, people instantly started connecting those old dots again. And it doesn't stop there. Some fans even throw Chrisean Rock's name into the chaos, and while nothing has ever been confirmed, her reputation for being unpredictable and messy makes her an easy target for speculation. People online love the idea of Cardi shading Chrisean in that slick line, because the thought alone would have sent social media into a meltdown. Imagine Twitter threads exploding, TikToks being made overnight, and Instagram comments turning into full-blown battlefields. Even without receipts, just the possibility of Cardi hinting at Chrisean had fans saying, now that would have been the gag of the century. The crazy part? None of these names have been proven, but that hasn't stopped the internet from spinning its wild theories. And the way Cardi dropped it so casually means people will keep dragging these same suspects into the fire until she finally clears the air. If she ever does. But here's where things take an even messier turn. This whole conversation isn't just about Offset and the women rumored to be tied up in his chaos. Now, Cardi's own album is under the microscope, and fans are dissecting every inch of it. The burning question floating around online is, who didn't want to be featured? Because let's be real, while the confirmed lineup of features is solid, Megan Thee Stallion, Lizzo, Summer Walker, Selena Gomez, and a handful of others, people can't shake the feeling that it's missing that knockout superstar punch you'd expect from a Cardi B project. Don't get me wrong, these artists are major in their own right, but you can tell this wasn't the dream roster Cardi had in her head when she started cooking up Am I the Drama? It almost feels like some of those bigger culture-shifting names backed out when they thought the album wouldn't hit as hard as her debut. That's why fans are side-eyeing, saying this isn't quite the all-star Avengers lineup they imagined Cardi would assemble. And that's where the debate really heats up. Because, at the end of the day, sometimes you just have to work with what you've got, and Cardi definitely pulled together a strong cast. But when you stack it against the hype and the expectations, it leaves room for disappointment. Fans were dreaming of collabs with the absolute megastars, the kind of names that instantly make an album feel like a cultural reset. Instead, Cardi's rolling with a mix of respected hitmakers and rising talent who, while powerful, don't always carry that same blockbuster weight. And that gap between what fans expected and what Cardi delivered is exactly why people are arguing if this album can live up to the storm of hype it's riding on right now. And that brings us straight to the million-dollar question. Do you think Am I the Drama is about to flop? Or could it shock everybody and crash the charts just like her debut? Because let's not sugarcoat it. Invasion of Privacy wasn't just an album. It was a cultural takeover. Every single track felt like an anthem. Every release dominated the airwaves, and Cardi turned herself into a household name overnight. That kind of lightning is almost impossible to bottle twice. And history shows most artists peak on their first project before the pressure of a sophomore release starts to crush them. Now, I'll keep it a buck. I don't think this album is going to outdo Invasion of Privacy. And it's not about Cardi's talent, because she's proven she can deliver hits. But the bar she set in 2018 was so ridiculously high that anything less than another global reset will feel like a letdown. Fans are already saying, unless this album changes the landscape the way her debut did, it's always going to live in the shadow of that first project. But here's where things get juicy. This rollout isn't just about music anymore. The Offset scandal, the whispers of betrayal, the suspicion that other female rappers slept with her husband, all that drama is fueling this album's momentum in ways no label marketing plan ever could. Headlines are on fire. Fans are arguing non-stop. and the curiosity alone might be enough to push streams through the roof. So maybe Am I the Drama doesn't need to be a cultural reset like her first album. Maybe this time, it just needs to be messy, loud, and unforgettable. The kind of project that cements Cardi as the queen of chaos and keeps her name in every single conversation. Now let's give credit where it's due. Cardi B's first album didn't just perform well, it dominated. Invasion of Privacy wasn't just a project, it was a cultural juggernaut that stamped Cardi's name in the history books. That debut gave us records that climbed all the way to Diamond, with singles that became anthems and performances that froze the whole world in place. It wasn't just about chart numbers, it was about impact. Every drop, every visual, every award show moment made people stop, watch, and talk. That album set a bar so high that even the biggest legends in hip-hop would have trouble matching it. And that's why the question everyone is asking now is so heavy. Can her new album, Am I the Drama, live up to that legendary debut? My honest take, this album is going to do numbers. The streams will be wild, the fan base is going to ride hard, and the media buzz is already red hot. But will it break the same kind of records that Invasion of Privacy did? That's where things get tricky. There's a difference between being successful and being historic, and Cardi's walking that razor-thin line right now. With all the delays, the rumors about missing features, and the Offset scandal crashing into the rollout, this project is dropping right in the middle of pure chaos. And chaos can go either way. It can catapult her into an even bigger spotlight, or it can drown the music out in nonstop gossip. Still, one thing is undeniable. When Cardi drops, the entire industry listens. Love her or hate her, she knows how to command a moment like nobody else. So now, I'm turning it over to you. Do you think Am I the Drama will hold its own against Invasion of Privacy? Or is this the proof that lightning only strikes once? Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash that like button, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss it when Cardi shakes the game all over again.